How the fuck do I talk about Bellum Maga? I have stared at this script for half an hour now, slowly turning over the thoughts in my mind. How do you explain an atrocious D6 storyteller ripoff system, the embodiment of pain that is the artwork, or whatever the fuck the rest of this thing is actually? So here's the brief, here's the basic idea. Bellum Maga is bad, amusingly bad, the kind of bad you debate if it's actually just a shitpost or not, but then you realize it's really not, and it's actually deadly serious. How do you approach that kind of game? The secret answer is that you do not do that. You don't look at it. It cannot hurt you if you do not see it. So in short, don't. Bellum Maga is a terror-inducing nightmare that offends everyone and is vomit-inducing both visually and written. However, let's go into it real deep, pick it apart, see what we can do to fix it. So I present to you all Notepad Anon's Bellum Maga. Bellum Maga is uniquely difficult to critique because of its overall presentation. The artwork is eye-melting and formatting is wonky and generally difficult to read. This is all on top of a transformation porn tier writing and setting. Revamping it, presently, it is pretty simple. There are witches who operate in secret, but oh no, the normies found out and now we're exposed to the greater world. Read! Alright, it's pretty much a masquerade broken setting. It's about suspicion and being outed as being a legit user of magical power. Hell, just go 100% differently Morpheus on it and just make it magic exposed. The setting, done. Give it a grungy look, but more World of Darkness to highlight the them versus us magipunk concept. Game is now about being exposed to the world that's suspicious of you rather than being transformation porn that's trying to masquerade as feminism. D6 mechanic is hard to be salvaged. It's already very broken where a partial success and a failure is technically the same thing. But what it needs to do is that you just need to go through it and tweak it. 1 to 3 fails, 4 to 6 is a success. This is not exactly a complicated thing to actually do in a system, but it does build the systems, escalating the characters into superhuman incredibly easily normally. Balance things around having a 2 to 3 being the average for an attribute, i.e. the average human being, rather than the traditional getting up to be Superman in about 5 seconds. So this plays also into the class issue pretty hard, because Bellum Maga actually has a class system. Some are far too much, and others are very little in comparison. My immediate thought is cult classes entirely, but we have to keep with as much Bellum Maga as possible. So each one gets a grand total of +3 to spread among their attributes, 3 skills and a central talent, which represents who and how they actually operate, rather than the smorgasbord of stuff and things they currently have. With skills being mentioned, cut some of the stranger ones and remove magic as a skill altogether. Magic is kind of an odd duck in the system entirely because everyone is already a magic user and gets the skill of magic default. It really doesn't need to be a skill on par with domestic. Give it its own value, like in Mage the Ascension or Awakening. Now, this does also kind of bring it into benefits and drawbacks need to be edited quite a bit as well, because right now some of them are just wrong, but are wordy and specific and often bad. Really terribly bad. Magic is actually pretty interesting with the amping mechanic and such, but here's the catch. It's too specific in some regards. Cut it and rebuild it. Pretty much you're going to need to make a make-your-own spell system rather than the curated list that's currently there that is almost entirely based off transformation fetish porn. So you have this handful of basic spells, and you have the amps which builds around them. This also relates to the patroness mechanic, which is just a lot to take in and not actually very interesting. Oh boy, 2 free spells, they cost slightly less. Ooh. You already have these classes, but if it's necessary, treat them as these broad forces of nature to work with, forcing the mage to adhere to their whims for additional power. Rituals also need quite a bit of an overhaul right now. They feel awkward and pointless, except for incredibly specific reasons or someone's intense fetish material. Treat them as a big, expensive, and dangerous custom spell that could be interesting. With a circle of chalk, a blood of an hound, and nettles of a forgotten tree, I'll hunt down my rival more than effigy cigar. No. a bit of legwork, but the core idea of combat is there, but the problem is it's just terrible. Seriously, this is the kind of janky in comparison to the wind button that most spells are. It should feel tense and to the point, but personally, take it out as an emphasis. You don't need combat. Fuck it, we're going unknown armies on this bitch. Reduce the health levels by half and make getting shot a valid problem for most people, wizards included. Combat isn't the point, it's more about being an exposed mage trying to avoid getting into a gunfight or clubbed to death with metal pipes. Favor as this metacurrency / experience has some merit. Those implemented poorly. Take the same idea, go 100% on it. Call it something like power. Yeah, that'll work. You rapidly gain power by doing wizard stuff, but you're encouraged to vent it to make sure the feds don't kick down your door for having illegal superpowers. You want to feel teetering on the edge, always flirting with the concept of getting stronger and more powerful, but being restrained every second by the encroachment of either your enemies, as the more power is more signal, or the feds, who would like nothing more than to stick you in a nightmare box. All in all, Bellum Maga 2 less Bellum Maga is pretty much just Mage the Ascension light, but with deeper themes of burnouts and rapid power and quicker demises. So, my name is Notepad, and this was Bellum Maga, as well as my broad scope thinking how to tweak, edit, and fix this abomination. Can you truly fix something so atrociously broken? I don't know. If you like what I do here, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you. Goodbye.